There's a hotel not far from here.
Chloe, now is not the time.
It's easily the tallest building in the city.
Right, right. Well, okay. That's good thinking.
This is LeBaron98 here, and this is going to be my impressions of the Sony's E3 conference. As you can tell here, obviously I'm playing Uncharted 2, and if there's a series of games that are must-owns for the PlayStation 3, it's definitely the Uncharted series. I'll definitely put it over top of even Killzone. To be honest with you, when I first saw the announcement for the PlayStation 3, the game I remembered was Killzone 2. I remember that infamous CG trailer, and granted, I was impressed by that, but it was really the Uncharted series of all the series that actually got me to finally buy a PlayStation 3, and I'm glad I did, because I mean it's a great series, and there's other great games on the PlayStation. So as far as the conference is concerned, what did they do? What did they provide for me personally? Obviously, there's Uncharted 3. I mean, definitely buying it. There's no question in my mind. The demo that they showed, while it might not have the, how do I say that? The demo that they showed didn't have that epic scope that the Uncharted 2 demo at E3 had. And I think that's why a lot of people are saying that they find that the graphics don't wow you as Uncharted 2 did when they first showed it. I think it has more to do with the actual scene of the demo rather than the actual technical merits of the game. Because if you really pay attention to that demo, you notice a lot of amazing stuff like the water effects, the boat physics, and the way that the physics in the game interact with Drake as far as his animation is concerned. And then obviously they really improved on the lighting, which is probably the one thing. While it was decent, overall, I mean, Uncharted 2 is a great looking game. Obviously, just look at this game. But I found that there were other games that did lighting better. Now, granted, there wasn't a ton of areas where Uncharted 2 needed lighting, but the museum level comes to mind when it comes to that. And I'll be honest, when I first started playing Uncharted 2, I didn't really see the big appeal or like the what was so special about the graphics. I mean, it was a great looking game, but I didn't really feel like it was all what the hype was about, right? Until you really get to this level here. And I think, again, it had a lot to do with the way they did the lighting and the museum level. And now, granted, there wasn't a lot of night ones. I think when he was in the cave too, but for the most part, I think that's what I really noticed about the Uncharted 3 demo that they showed was the improved lighting effects, and I'm glad they did. I always found when it comes to lighting effects, and if you're wondering what games I thought did better lighting effects than Uncharted 2, Alan Wake, the game I showed on my Microsoft press conference video, it had amazing effects when it comes to the lighting. Now, granted, that game relies on its gameplay. Its gameplay feature is the whole lighting concept. So obviously, they're going to pay more attention to detail when it comes to the lighting. But like I said, the Uncharted 3 demo that they showed at E3, amazing. Just overall amazing. Now, as far as Uncharted 3, what did they really have? To be honest with you, for the games that I like, there's a lot of games. Like, I mean, they showed Resistance 3. I have it Resistance 1 and Resistance 2. And while they're good games, they're not my top of the line, day one buys. Those are the type of games I usually buy when they hit the greatest hits collection. And again, that's not to say they're bad games, and that's not to say you should hate them or that they're terrible games at all. I mean, they're good games, just not the type of series I have to go out and buy day one. And then another game that I'm actually might buy day one when it comes out is Sly Cooper 4. I'm finally glad that they're coming out with that. Now, granted, it is by a different developer, so we'll have to do a wait and see when it comes to that. But, overall, there wasn't really a ton of what they showed that really interested me. Now, granted, I'm not a handheld gamer. I mean, I'm not into the Game Boy DS, PSP, and so on. So the whole PlayStation Vita stuff, while it looked awesome, and I mean it's a great piece of tech, it just didn't really make me want to buy the actual device, because at the end of the day, I'm not really into the whole handheld gaming business. Now, again, if you're into that, I mean, it has Uncharted on it. I mean, if you don't mind the handheld gaming, it has Uncharted, and that's all I really have to say when it comes to that. But as far as the overall conference is concerned, I can't just base it purely on my what they did for just me. And what I mean by that is that they did a lot right with the conference. I mean, they showed a decent amount of variety of games. And well, granted, they spent most of the time on the whole PlayStation Vita thing. They did a very good job, especially with the price point of, I believe it was $249, the same price as the 3DS, which is, again, crazy. Well done. Well, a job well done by Sony on that front. And but again, as far as PlayStation 3 games are concerned, there wasn't really a ton of games that truly interested me. Now, again, there's other games like the whole... And when I say they don't interest me, I mean like the whole new exclusives. I mean, they have the God of War PSP collection that's coming out. I'm definitely going to buy that. And they also had the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus bundle. Going to get that as well. That's actually one game I didn't really get to play fully on the PlayStation 2. Because I had sold my PlayStation. I had PlayStation 2 roughly when it first came out. I had a few disc read errors with it, and after a couple attempts with getting them to exchange and even buying a new one, I finally sold it, and that's one of the things I kind of regretted doing, and it's one of the reasons why I no longer do that sort of nonsense. And so as a result, I missed a lot of the great games like Shadow of the Colossus and God of War and so on. So I think that's really, when it comes to gaming content, that I saw that really interested me. Now, as far as the whole Vita thing is concerned, I mean, again, it's great looking tech. They had, I think it was Nation Racers, and how quickly they did the whole... track editing thing. I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. And then with Uncharted, to see a game that almost looks like a PlayStation 3 game on a handheld is pretty amazing stuff. Again, then you have Resistance 3, and it was a solid looking demo. I'll give it that. But again, it's not really a series that I want to buy day one. I am glad that they didn't really spend too much time on the Move. I'm one of those ones that, again, I don't really like the whole motion controller thing. As more of the Wii type stuff, because I don't like it for shooters, and that's probably the only reason to buy a Move, really, is for the ability to use it for shooters. And I think the biggest reason is because I'm not all that great with that type of game style, to use a Wiimote-like device to aim. I'm sure with some practice I might grow to love it, but until that time comes, I don't think I'm gonna buy the Move. And then they had one thing I was kind of disappointed to see is that they didn't really show the Rockstar exclusive Agent. Why? Who knows? There's a rumor now that the reason why they didn't really show it is because apparently Rockstar is really heavily considering making it a multiplat again, or just making it a multiplat. So that would mean coming out on the 360. And with the sales of LA Noire, it probably wouldn't surprise me to see that happen. But it would be nice to keep that as an exclusive. Then you have, no, granted it's not really a game I'm all interested in, but then you have the whole Final Fantasy Versus. and a no-show for that. Then Last Guardian, a no-show for that. I mean, they have a lot of great content, but they didn't really show it. And then you hear rumors, and a game I probably would definitely be interested in, which is God of War 4. Didn't really show that. Now, as far as the games I want from that conference, again, obviously Uncharted 3. Looks amazing. The trailer was epic. I mean, what can you say about that series? Naughty Dog always makes a quality product, so no questions. I already have Killzone 3. You know, obviously it was released earlier this year. Not a bad game. Not really as good as I thought it would be, but not a bad game. I definitely don't regret buying it, though. Then another game I might buy is Infamous 2, although the issue I have with it is not so much with the actual game, but with its predecessor, Infamous, where I found it was a bit too repetitive near the midway point, and that's kind of keeping me away from Infamous 2, although I'm definitely going to pick it up at some point. And then Resistance 3, again, I'll pick it up at some point, probably as a greatest hits collection. But if it gets rave reviews and it becomes a sleeper hit, I might very well pick that up. And I'm sure I'm missing something there, but that's all I can really think of at the moment. Oh yes, Sly Cooper as well. Definitely like those games. And then as far as the PSP games, God of War games that are coming out, gotta pick that up. Definitely a God of War fan. And then the Ico and Shadow Colossus bundle, definitely picking that up. Anyway, this is basically it for this video, so until next time, this is LeBurn98 signing off. Up next is Nintendo. Take care, guys. See ya.
I'm sorry, do you have a plan to go along with that grenade?
Yes, I do. I'm gonna circle around this way, break up their little party.
Aren't you forgetting about somebody?
Well, that's where you come in, sweetheart. I need you to take care of him. But, do it quietly.
Do it quietly.
Yeah.
Are you sure about this?
Desperate times, right?
What does that mean?